Should you buy a Ducati motorcycle, or are they just an overrated, overpriced, unreliable piece of crap? Well, that's what we're gonna find out today. So in light of this video, I had to buy a Ducati. Now the Ducati we have here in front of us is gonna be a 2015 Monster 821 Dark Edition. So this bike is really in the middle of the spectrum. I mean, there's Ducatis that are sportier, ones that are less sporty, ones that are faster, ones that are slower, ones that are bigger, ones that are smaller, ones that are newer, ones that are older. So today we're effectively going to use this Ducati here to judge every Ducati ever made of all time. Now, is that fair? No. Are we gonna do it? Oh yeah. So, and since we're talking about motorcycles, not paperweights, we're not gonna spend too much time talking. We're just gonna jump straight on this beast and start riding it and decide if these Italian stallions have any business in the stable. My name's Micah. Welcome to the channel. Let's go ride.
All right. It's Ducati time. Wonder how this is gonna go. Injectors are primed. Whoo-wee. Now Ducati definitely known for all of the V-twin power plants that they've made over the years, and I must say the sound is very pleasing. It's just a little bit different. You don't always see the V-twins in the sport and naked style bikes. You know, it's triples and inline fours, parallel twins. Alright, we sit in the saddle. Well, I must say, it does feel kind of comfortable. The gas tank kind of comes up high. The back of that seat perfectly cups my little glutes. Well, so here we go. It does sound thunderous as I'm just cruising here through the neighborhoods. Oh, a little snap and crackle when we let off the gas, and we're going, because we got a V-twin. Whoa, all right. Well, and so definitely the sound of the engine and then that torque from the V-twin just pulling you right from low RPMs. That is kind of fun. Oh, so what? This bike specifically has about 112 horsepower, 65 foot-pounds of torque, I believe it is. So, I mean, that's fast. That's enough. We can say it's quick. But this isn't some 200 horsepower, you know, bruiser. But I will say that just cruising in town here at, you know, 35, 40 miles per hour, it's pretty enjoyable. And for a V-twin, this is just smooth as glass. I'm gonna rip around this guy. Put my visor down here. Man, this thing is a little bruiser. I mean, it's just a little workhorse. Oh man, the sound of that V-twin. Oh, good grief. It's grunty. And I mean, I'm at 4,000 RPMs here, but the torque is really, really good still. No, and what I'll say, yeah, we've got this low-end torque, but the motor still pulls up in high RPMs, and it seems like you really hit a second wind around 7,000 RPMs. Golly, it just really starts to yank your arms out of their sockets even more. As far as how nimble and light the bike feels, it does feel very balanced. top gear, just cruising at 60. Plenty of roll-on power still. Yeah, I mean, the bike just cruises smooth as glass. Nothing for vibrations. That motor feels healthy and strong. There is something about this, though, that you can just tell it is not American. It is not Japanese. It's not Chinese. You just know. It's hard to explain. It just feels a little bit foreign. It's just where the controls are. Kind of the agility of the bike. The agility's good. It's just different than, say, like if I were on a MT-09 or the Honda Hornet or a Kawasaki Z900. I'm trying to think of other bikes that are very similar to this, right? By the other major brands. But it does, I guess, overall feeling is very posh. This does feel refined. Like luxury performance, I guess. That's really what Ducati is, and that is the feel. That is the sensation that I get. Well, and we'll do some engine braking here. Ooh, that V-twin. Some brothers. That's pretty fun, just to wind this little thing up and let her rip. Alright, and here we're doing the old 0 to 60 to see how this Ducati rips off the line. And I'll put the time up on the screen when we're done. Here we go, baby. Well, it didn't take too long, and it's really easy to scurry off the line quick with all that torque from the V-twin. So that's kind of fun. Well, and I want to rip her to 60 one more time here. Round 2. That V-twin, she just lifted the front end right up. Oh, that is fun. That is just, I don't know why, launches, pulls, everything on a V-twin is so exciting to me. It's probably because I've just had so many inline 4s. But how does the Ducati wheelie? If I'm just in like 3rd gear and try a stand-up wheelie, will it do it? Let's see. Oh yeah. Wow, that throttle by wire. This is like cheating. Wheelies are so steady. On my Ducati. Woohoo! Alright, we better put that down. We're gonna get in trouble. Wow, well that's kind of fun. Oh, the sound of this thing just... Wow. Oh, V-twin torque, baby. Oh, man. The cool thing about this is that I don't even feel like I need to full throttle it or really wring its neck. Just being on it and being present as this thing gets to just run. This does, riding this Ducati, it feels like I'm doing something special. You know, there is just that, whether I like to admit it or not, there is the Ducati effect, right? And it's just, you know, that effect that, oh, some ritzy upper tier luxury brand, it just feels better. You feel better. You feel better than everybody else when you're driving this thing, when you're riding it. Oh my goodness. So I hate stuff like that. I hate arrogant people. But yes, you feel like everybody else is a peasant when you are on this. Well, so let's evaluate this Ducati a few different ways. As far as how the engine runs, the performance and feel of it. Well, I guess if we were to rate it 1 out of 10, I'd probably say 9. I'd say 8 or 9. It's very fun. The thing has a ton of get up and go. The V-twin power plant, it has a unique sound. It has a unique feel. It gives you torque and some low RPM power, whereas, you know, other cycles, other power plants, they don't. As far as like the quality of the controls, the brake, the clutch, how does it shift, you know? The quality feels like it's there. I haven't grabbed any controls or really felt anything that I was like, made me worried. So, you know, it does have a good feel to it. I think the quality's there. You would certainly hope it is, because these Ducatis are a little bit more on the pricey side, well, depending on what model you're looking at. As far as like practicality, is this practical? Is it just for looks? Is it just for the image? No. Wow, I mean, seemingly this is more of a practical bike than a lot of different things that we've been on recently. You know, and this is a naked, so that's a fairly practical, usable style, but, you know, say we were on a Panigale, on a Supersport Ducati, I don't see any reason why that would be more uncomfortable or less usable than any other Japanese, European, American offering. How smooth is the motorcycle? How well do all the components work together? Well, they work together very good. This bike just feels harmonious. You know, not that it feels like the fastest thing ever, not that it's the most agile thing ever, not that it's the coolest thing to look at of all time, but you do feel like you are just, I don't know, experiencing a piece of art, you know? It's fairly obvious that many, many hours and a ton of time, a ton of work has been poured into making this what it is and designing it in just a unique but usable fashion. That engine sound when I downshift and rev match that throttle. Oh. Oh man. I can see why they call this model the monster. It just, this thing is like feisty. is fun, I tell you what. Well, and I gotta get off this now that we're home and give you guys a few revs as it's just sitting here so you can hopefully feel how thunderous this is. Just about 4,000 RPMs. Just sounds like gunshots. That is a good time right there.
Well, and so how is this Italian stallion? Should this mean machine wind up in your garage? Should you even consider buying a Ducati? Well, my face kind of says everything. I can't stop smiling just thinking about riding it more. So it was fun. We did have a great time. Will we always have a great time? How reliable is this machine gonna be? Well, when you compare Ducatis to, say, the Japanese brands, Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Suzuki, your Japanese brands have a failure rate of around 10 to 12%. So there's a 10 to 12% chance that something is gonna go wrong with that vehicle that year. And those are just numbers from like all the consumer report rating bureaus and agencies. The Ducati sits around a 35% failure rate. So the Ducks are 3 times more problematic. And I think you can absolutely count on all of those problems are probably gonna be, well, at least 3 times more expensive than if you had that exact same problem on a Honda, on a Yamaha, Kawasaki, whatever it may be. So let me do some simple math for you there. If they have 3 times as many problems, and those problems are 3 times more costly to fix, essentially, well, 3 times 3 is 9, so you're almost paying 10 times more for this motorcycling experience as opposed to, say, a Honda. So even though the Ducati might not be too much more expensive right off the bat, say you were looking at a Ducati that's $12,000 and a comparable Honda was $9,000. Like, yes, it's only 30% more to get the Ducati, but that's just your initial cost. I do think that your ownership of a Ducati could potentially be 10 times more expensive. So, and then the final question, is this bike worth it? Is the Ducati worth the higher initial price, the higher cost of ownership? It's more problems, more time, more money at the end of the day. And is that piece of Italian flair worth it? Tentatively, I want to say yes, but I haven't owned this bike for, well, more than about a week or two. And so we've got to own it. We've got to put some miles on it, get some time, get to do some maintenance, and really just see how reliable and how good this machine is going to treat us. So for now, we'll just say yes. We'll just say that the Ducati's worth it. It is a ton of fun. It breaks every neck of every person you drive past. Now, this is not the flashiest, this is not the sportiest, it's not the fastest Ducati, but as soon as I pull up to people and they see that name on the gas tank, I am suddenly just the coolest person that they've ever seen. There are those subconscious thoughts that people have when they see that Ducati name. They think you're well off, that you're affluent, that you're smart, and none of those things are true for myself, but I have been enjoying reaping in those perspectives and those thoughts from others. So follow along with our ownership of this motorcycle. We're gonna do full reviews, more rides, maybe throw some parts on it. I'm just very curious, and I've got to find out firsthand how it is owning a Ducati and riding it every day. So this journey has officially begun for you and I. So comment if you guys have any questions at all. Otherwise, like the video if this helped you out. Subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time.